Hi, hello everyone, I hope you are all well. Welcome back to my channel. Since Valentine's Day is coming up next week, I thought I would share with you 3 different looks. I have a vampy Galentine's Day look, and then a sultry date night face, and then lastly, what I'm calling Netflix and chill with yourself, because sometimes you just don't want to do anything for Valentine's Day, you just want to be on your own. So first up, I have the vampy Galentine's Day makeup look, and it's very similar to the one that I was wearing in my January favorites video, so let's jump on into it. I'm going to go in with my favorite primer, the by Terry Hyaluronic Hydra primer. Every foundation that I wear on top of this just stays all day and it looks so beautiful. Alright, just smoothing it on. Now that that has settled into my face a bit, I'm going to go in with an illuminating primer. This is something that is going to really just wake up my skin, because I find that sometimes when I wear such a deep lip, if I go super matte and harsh with my other makeup, it tends to look really heavy, so I like to lighten it up a lot by using something like this. It is the Burberry Fresh Glow in Nude Radiance. It's number 1. Next, I'm going in with my favorite foundation, the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation in the shade number 3. I love this foundation so much, and it's the one that I wore on my wedding day, so it has a lot of special feelings attached to it. I'm gonna use my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge to apply this. This is a really good color match for me, but I always like to bring it down my neck so it just looks more blended and more seamless. Next, I'm going in with concealer, and for that I am using the Clarins Instant Concealer in the shade number 1 under my eyes, and just tapping it in. I'm going to let my base products sink in just a little bit and settle into the skin before I go in with powder, but in the meantime I'm going to start on my eyes and my eyebrows, and to start with I'm grabbing my NARS Smudgeproof eyeshadow base. A lot of people like to go in with a eyebrow pencil first and then the gel second, but I actually like to do it the other way around because I find that it looks more natural and it doesn't look as drawn on when you do it that way. And the brow gel that I am going to use is the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel. It is the shade Espresso. And then I'm going to move on to my eyes and give that a chance to dry down before I go in with the pencil. I am going to use just a little bit of the shade Georgia from the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. This is going to go in my crease and also under my eyes. It just brings a really soft shadow and some more definition to my eyelids. And I'm just going to bring the same shade right under my eyes. One more product to go on the lids just to brighten them up and give them a bit of a sheen. And I'm also going to use this as my face highlight as well. It is MAC's Cream Color Base in Hush. Such a beautiful rose gold color. And this just brings a really beautiful natural kind of sheen to the eyes where it looks like you're just lit from within. Take some of that cream color base just underneath my eye in the inner corner to really brighten things up and make my eyes look nice and big. And then lastly, I'm just going to top that off with some of this really gorgeous, super shimmery shade from the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette in Luscious. Right there. And brighten it up even more. I just added a tiny little bit of this really dark smoky shade from the Tartelette in Bloom palette. And lastly, I'm using a brow bone highlight, once again the Sweet Peach palette, and the shade White Peach. I always find that using a brow bone highlight, especially a matte shade, just really ties everything together and kind of smooths everything out. Just blending the lines out a little bit more so it doesn't look harsh. I'm just going to add some mascara. YSL Faux Cils in Waterproof. This is the shade Black. That is the eyes done, and now I'm going to go back into the brows and really fill these out and make them look nice and bushy. To do that, I'm using the Surratt eyebrow pencil. This is the shade Raven. And I like to start at the bottom and kind of carve out the bottom edge and then fill in my tail because I have terrible tails on my eyebrows. There we go. Now the eyes really are 100% done. Next, I'm going to move on to my face. I'm just using the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder in the shade Medium. A little bit. And then down the jaw. Mostly just focusing it on the back part near my ear, and then I'll come up a little bit. But again, very, very lightly. I don't want this to be a really heavily contoured look. And next after that is bronzer. I am using the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow. I'm only going to be using the contour shade here. I find it's more of a bronzer, especially on my skin. And lastly, for highlight, you guessed it, going back in with matte cream color base in Hush. Really going in heavy with this because I love a good highlight. And whatever is left on my finger, I'm just going to go down the bridge of my nose. My Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, hard to say. And to apply that, I'm using, once again, my Miracle Complexion Sponge. I love the way this goes on with the damp sponge. It is just so beautiful and really does get that airbrush look. The last thing to do are the lips. Like I said, I'm going for a very vampy, deep, dark lip, and I am using the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in Glastonberry. It's my favorite dark lipstick shade. Here it is. Oh gosh, it's just so pretty. To line the lips before I go in with the lipstick, I'm going to use her lip liner in the shade Berry Naughty. It's a beautiful. So then for the lipstick, I think I'm just going to go in straight from the bullet. One more blot to really take off the excess and make it more of a stain and not worry about it smudging too much. Here is the finished Galentine's Day vampy makeup look. I hope you liked it. So give me just a second and I will be right back to show you my Galentine's Day outfit. Okie dokie, that was the Galentine's Day makeup look done. I have removed my eyeshadow, but I've kept my base on because this is typically what I would use for most looks, for, you know, that are going out type of looks, and I love it. Next up is my sultry date night Valentine's Day makeup tutorial. It's going to be a brown smoky eye, nude lips, but not your stereotypical red lips cat eyeliner kind of look, because if you're on a hot date, kissing is most likely involved and you're going to want something that's not going to be clownish smeared all over. I'm kind of using Jennifer Lawrence's 2011 Oscars look as a reference, so if you want to see what I'm pulling from for inspiration, you can go ahead and Google that. Her makeup is just, in my opinion, super sexy. So that's what I'm trying to kind of model this after. To start out with, I am going to use an oldie but a goodie from the original Urban Decay Naked palette. I am going to start with the shade Naked just as a transition color. I'm going to go in with the shade Naked on this Charlotte Tilbury crease brush just as a light transition color to kind of anchor the whole look. And I like to apply this just above my natural crease to make a better eye shape for myself, because like Jennifer Lawrence, I do have hooded eyelids. This transition shade just helps the darker shades blend more seamlessly up into the brow bone and not look as harsh. And if you look at a picture of her makeup from that night, she does have the eyeshadow going up pretty high on her eye because, like I said, she has a hooded eye, so what it does is it gives the illusion of a more wide open lid space. Now to me, it looks like the shade that she has on her eyelids and in her crease is very similar to the shade Hustle in the Urban Decay Naked 1 palette. And to apply the shade Hustle, I am using my trusty MAC 217. I'm also just putting this in the outer V right here. So it looks like she's got a darker shadow. And then it looks like she has a bit of a lighter brown on her lids than she does in the crease. I'm going to use MAC's Mulch. It's a beautiful kind of goldeny brown, and that's what it looks like she has on her lids. And to apply that, I'm using my MAC 239. It looks pretty messy right now, but I am going to blend it out after I apply all the colors that I need. And then I'm going to take my Chanel blender brush right here and go in with a little bit of the color Smog right here for a little bit more of a golden tone. And then last but not least, just to brighten up the inner part of the lid, I'm going to use a little bit of Half Baked right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and blend out all of the edges with my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. Uh-oh. Okay, so as you saw, I just went in there and cleaned up a little bit with a makeup wipe, and once I have everything done and looking the way I want it to, I'll go back in with some concealer just to fix those those funky marks that are right there. But first I am going to start on the lower lashes. I'm gonna grab this flat liner brush, I guess. It's an old one with Hustle again. Just go really close to the lower lash line. Now to go back in and clean up those edges just a little bit, I'm going to use my trusty Tarte Shape Tape. This is in the shade Fair Neutral. Finally, for the eyes, I'm going to go in with some of the shade Virgin by Urban Decay just on my brow bone. Once again, you can see how that really just helped blend everything out and soften it and make it look really pretty. Oops, forgot to blend in the concealer around my nose. I am going to add a bit more contour and a bit more bronzer, and then probably a bit of highlight and blush. That was the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder in medium. Now for some more bronzer, once again, Charlotte Tilbury. More highlight, this time with the Victoria Beckham for Estee Lauder highlighter in Modern Mercury. You guys are gonna die. This is so beautiful. It's probably my favorite highlighter at the moment. Probably even more than Hush. Gosh, look at how gorgeous that is. And the packaging is so luxe. Oh, it's so pretty. Last but not least, for the face, I have my MAC blush in Pinch Me. And finally, on the face, I'm just going to blend all of that together with this old Chanel brush. It is the number 6. And finally, the pièce de la résistance is the lips, and I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk to line. I have, once again, a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, this time in the shade Valentine. Really, really pretty, kind of peachy nude color with a bit of pink. So that is it for my sultry date night makeup look. I will be right back in just a second with my sexy date outfit. And final Valentine's Day look is what I'm calling Netflix and chill with yourself, but get your minds out of the gutter, because I don't mean that kind of Netflix and chill. I just mean a quiet night in with your favorite show or movie on Netflix, your favorite meal. Go ahead and splurge a little. I'm going to start with a really lightweight foundation, MAC Face and Body in N2. This looks really, really beautiful when you apply it with your hands, but I hate getting my hands dirty, so I'm going to use the Real Techniques Buffer Brush. Pour it straight on and just slap it right on your face. It blends in really easy. It just kind of evens everything out. Next is a lightweight concealer, Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 15 Fair. And there's a helicopter. The joys of city life. My favorite everyday powder to use is the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in Translucent. Hopefully I don't drop it. And I'm just gonna use this little Tarte Kabuki brush. Now a bit of bronzer, my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, the original shade. This is coming up in a drugstore haul and first impressions video. I'm also gonna whack a little bit of this on my eyes. What's with the helicopters? I guess it's just Friday. Then some brow gel by Maybelline, also in the drugstore video. Keep an eye out for that one. Curl my lashes with my MAC eyelash curler and L'Oreal Lash Paradise. And for lips, I've been really into that very sheer wash of a bright color lately. I'm going to be using my Maybelline Baby Lips in the cherry flavor. And to complete my cozy night in are my favorite snuggly clothes, a big glass of wine, and my favorite pasta dish. I've been exclusively buying gluten-free pasta for when I'm having a pasta craving, but tonight I decided to splurge and go for your typical gluten-filled linguine. It was delicious, and a homemade bolognese sauce. If you're interested in having this recipe, let me know. Tonight I decided to watch The Cloverfield Paradox because it was new on Netflix, and that is going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.